What's up YouTube, Matt here. As you can see from screen, we are doing another Zero Deck profile. We are covering the first of the two clan events coming to Global this month. We are doing it on the JP server because obviously I've recording this in advance. I've actually got the touchy stuff on JP, whereas I'm missing bits on Global. So what we're going to do is got this today. In a couple of days time, you should have the new Bataan one as well, where I'm going to be showing off that deck because I managed to get both pools on JP's. Get them out so you guys know what's coming before the clan event actually drops. So we're going to start off with breaking the deck down. First one we go for is starter. We are using the good old starter, which when retired, Counterblast 1 creates a Ancient Dragon Tyranno Legend out of thin air and calls it a rearguard circle. The reason I use this over the Legion one is because we've actually got the Tyranno Legend set as our heal trigger. So we're actually creating extra heals every time that we spawn in a Tyranno Legend. Because obviously we can spam the starter, because obviously Tyranno Legend creates a starter as well. So really it's the best starter for the deck. Next up we have 3 copies of one of their new cards, which is Soul Blast 2 to Countercharge 2. Really good card for the deck. Yes, it fills up the drop zone for the Legion. Countercharging is very much hurts in Tachikaze. So we very much appreciate it. Next up we have 4 copies of the PEG. It's the new style PEG because we are still limit break reliant. It's Ancient Dragon name because you do have to retire some Ancient Dragon name cards at some times for the just in cases. But the old style PG is always going to be wanted. Next up, we have got Iguanagorg. Iguanagorg's skill is when it's retired by one of your card effects. If you have not by card effect, just when this unit's retired during your turn. Sorry, if you have an Ancient Dragon Vanguard, you can Counterblast 1, call this card back to rearguard circle. Obviously, it's a recurring rearguard because you do retire cards for your skills. That does allow for multi-attacks. You do have battle phase retiring. Really good card. Even works when you call over it as well, which is an interesting one. But honestly, it's going to be a staple for Ancient Dragons for a long time. Next up, we do run 2 copies of this one, which is when it attacks, retire one of your rear guards for this unit to gain plus 5,000 power. So obviously, this can enable multi-attacks in the battle phase, because obviously you attack with this, sacrificing off Tyrannobites or Iguanagorg to then let them call back to attack again. Really good card, but obviously he's only grade 1, so 12k isn't amazing, but it's there for the just in case we need it. Next up is 4 copies of Tyrannobite. It's the new Legion mate. Came out in this set. It's got the exact same skill as Iguanagorg of when this unit's retired. If you've got a Tachikaze Ancient Dragon Vanguard, it's during your turn. You can Counterblast 1, call it back to rearguard circle. Yes, this one is the more useful one because obviously it's a 9k base, so you can obviously swing it unboosted at a rearguard, sacrifice it off, and then call it back in front of a 7k boost to make 16k swing at Vanguard. Really nice card. It's very important to grab. Next one up is I run 3 copies of the 12k attacker. It's literally here for the fact of its Ancient Dragon name and can swing unboosted if need be at the Vanguard. Next up, I do run 2 copies of the Mammoth still, which is the on-hit countercharger, because I'm gonna keep saying it. Counterblasting is very heavy in this deck. Any countercharger you can get is mass important. Next up, we do run 4 copies of this grade 2, which is on attack, sacrifice a rearguard, gain plus 5k. This one's a bit better because obviously it's a 9k base, so obviously you can scale a bit better. It's more multi-attacking, really nice card. Might get cut further down the line if we get more support, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Then on to the grade 3s, we run 4 copies of the new boss, triple rare, Tyrannoquake. Got 2 skills. First one is when a card with the same name as on your Vanguard circle is retired this turn, this unit gets power plus 5,000 plus 1 crit. So obviously retiring your Tyrannoquake gives you the extra 5k and a crit. And its second skill is when this unit attacks, you can retire one of your rear guards to gain plus 5k. Simple as anything. Actually, so no, I got the first skill wrong, actually. Apologise for that. It's once per turn. When one of your rear guards is retired, if you're in Legion, it doesn't... Because I believe... yeah, that's the Legion text there, not the actual... Apologies for that. Yeah, when this unit is in Legion and you retire one of your rear guards, you get plus 5k and a crit. I do apologise for that one, but it's honestly the boss unit of the deck, the one you sit on most of the game. It's really important. We do run 4 copies of Spino Driver. He is still an important card because you can actually take your time with this deck. It gives the 2 skills. First one's the Break Ride skill of when you Break Ride on top of him, retire up to 2 of your rear guards. This unit gains... Oh, sorry, no. First bit is you gain 10k and a crit. That's guaranteed. Then you can retire up to 2 rear guards, and for each rear guard you retire, you draw a card. So obviously, if you retire 2, you draw 2. If you retire 1, you draw 1. Retire nothing, then you draw nothing, but you still gain your 10k and a crit no matter what. What that was changed from the TCG, because obviously in the TCG it was a locked. You had to retire 2 to gain any of the skills. So really nice buff they gave to it. Second skill is when this unit attacks the Vanguard, plus 3k. Simple, to the point. Finishing up, we do have the heal trigger, who is our Tyranno legend we were talking about earlier. His skill is Limb Break 4. When this unit attacks, you can retire 3 of your Ancient Dragon rear guards. This unit gains 10k and a crit, and then you can create 1 of the Baby Rex out of nowhere and call it to rear guard circle. And its second skill is Counter Blast 2 plus 5k. You ignore that as second skill. The first one's really nice because it's extra crit pressure, creating an extra rear guard for free, and also you're doing the multi-attacks on top. Then the last grade 3, because we do have to obviously run one off, I do run the Triceratops thing. Its skill is once per turn, Counter Blast 1, and retire one of your Ancient Dragon rear guards. And then choose 2 of your rear guards to gain plus 5,000 power. Hang on. I'm going to double check. This is it. I was just asking for the ancient. Yeah, it's just a bit for the Ancient Dragon name. So yeah. And then obviously the second skill is Vanguard Circle. When you attacks, you can retire one of your rear guards with Ancient Dragon in its name to then gain plus 5,000 power. You don't use it. It's literally just here because Ancient Dragon fills the slot. But that's it for the actual deck. Let's get into the fights. I shall see you when we find our first fight. Right, we are back now. We've got our first game. Not sure how Tachikaze is actually going to do, because obviously we're at the end of Legion now, so it's well past their support range. And we get Kagros. Solar-Mate Legion. That is the wrong deck there, buddy. That's for Royal Paladins. So, our rides aren't looking amazing. We obviously haven't seen a grade... Never mind, we found a grade 3. Ideally, I want to ride Dino Crowd, so I can then sack off the starter to get a heal straight out of deck. But I just want to ideally hit a different grade 1, so I don't have to actually ride the Iguanagog. We're now about to find out. Yep, it's the Great again. As you might have told, I'm not fond of the Great. So, what we're going to do... We might be able to do a first grade 3 turn Legion. Looking at my hand. So, we'll swing into that. But my thought process is, obviously, you'll get a Counter Blast for using the Baby Rex skill. Which I can then Soul Blast 2 from drop. Plus the starter. And if I then call over the heal, or they retire the heal, I'm then actually getting an extra card and drop zone. I'm at 4. I can then Legion them all back in, and I've got playing with 5 heals, which is lots of fun. Oh, so you went for Gojo. Interesting. Yeah, he just wants to try and fill his drop zone up quickly. It's a draw, so draw is his odd. So he's running Dragonic Overlord is his odd draw, which is interesting. There's the Dino Crowd. Then we shall attack using his skills, sack the starter off. Then use starter skill. Create the free heal. And we hit the draw, so this could actually be a really fun turn. And I just noticed I drew into the break ride as well, so leads for more combos potentially. So I can actually afford to take my time a bit now. Use the break ride skill, get an extra bit of draw power going. Yeah, no break ride from him. He does go straight into the grate. Depending what he does will depend on what I do, honestly. I am going to be careful with some of my calls because obviously Neoflame can wreck my field because of its on play skill. Yeah, he's just going to push 2 damage. No! Ooh. Okay, so he rested that. So he's relying on trigger to hit the Vanguard, otherwise he's going to actually take out my rear guard, which at that point I might not do the break ride. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9. Oh, thinking. Yeah, I think I am going to do the break ride. But I'm going to have to be careful, obviously, with my placements. Because, obviously, I don't want to get nuked to high heaven. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this to fill up the drop zone a bit. And then we're going to do this. So, take out this. And swing at him. He does hit a heal, so we are now on the trigger to hit situations. But we're still in a very good position. Talking of heals, there's a heal ourselves. So we have actually now pushed into 4, which is a really good position for us. There's 1 PG down. We might be able to actually push for game next turn with obviously Tyrannoquake. As long as we can actually get some boosters, then we're in a really good position. But it is all reliant on if we hit boosters or not. Yep, there's the Re-Legion. There's the Legion. Got yep, and Neoflame. So I was right on holding back on putting the grade 1 elsewhere because it can't actually now retire anything. He did just reveal that he did have Nuval in hand, so that going out of the way is a really good sign. Takes out the rear guard. We are going to be going to 4 now, which is really good in our eyes, because obviously we don't need the... If he pushes us to 4, he's enabling more power for us to work with. Okay, bit weird with his attack patterns there, but not going to knock him. There's the booster we kind of wanted. What I might do is, because my hand's actually in a nice-ish position, I'm actually... Yeah... I'm going to talk through my process. My thought process is I'm thinking of doing the break ride for another turn and just stalling out for that extra turn. Because we've got double intercept, got the PG in hand, he physically can't murder our faces in. Plus we also PG checking, keeping him at 4 so we're not, say, dying to the Nouvelle. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Yep, and draw a card. Beautiful, so I can actually keep back the Legion mate. Do this. Swing this. Not use skill. Swing this. And then swing Vanguard. First check's nothing. Second check's nothing. BPG check him. Next turn now we can actually obviously go into our Legion and try and close out the game. Because unfortunately we still haven't hit a booster yet. So we are in a bit of hot water. He is going to be able to swing great into a rear guard. Then get 2 attacks at face. There was a Varg in hand. So he... Ooh. He couldn't finish me. That's just put him in an even worse position. Personally, because now... Yes, he'll counter charge. But he's only got 1 intercept, so I can actually... If I draw into another Dino crowd, I can actually push a bit harder. I'd like to get one of these boosters, though, ideally, game. Or is that just not allowed? What I could have also done, which might actually turn out to hinder me now, I could have called one of the Tyrannoquakes to the back row. Right. Break ride time. Nope, he scooped. Tachikaze actually won a game. Right, I shall see you in the next game. Right, we're now back for game 2. Let's see what we get this time. Ooh, we get Mr. Aichi with his Link Jokers. This one's definitely going to take a lot of thought, because I can't leave units where I don't want to leave them and risk them getting locked. So, you're going back, and I'm going to put the heal back, because I don't want to ideally ride it. This is somewhat good position, because obviously I've got the Dino Crowd to create an extra heal again. Yeah, I've got double PG, which will help us out in the long run. Unfortunately, we do have to ride a 5k base, but shouldn't be too hard, because Link Jokers don't want to push too hard, because then they lose out. And we are a generic drawing deck, because obviously our retires then lead us to getting draws. He has to ride his as well. Ooh. So depending on how it goes, he does with his first heal. We're never going to get a rearguard Iguanagorg at this rate. Oh, now that's even more interesting to play around with. Right, we do get the Iguanagorg. So I can obviously swing with the Iguanagorg, retiring off the starter. And then use the starter skill to create another heal trigger, which we can then call over, / retire, / do something with. Does he hit defensive? He does, so we don't actually get to push him to 2 this turn. So we do end turn that. But if he hits all these triggers now, that's fine, because then late game when I want to do my big pushes, he can't hit defensives. Smile. But no, having the Break Ride in play is really good for us, because it actually leads to more pressure plays. He's calling down some... Okay, okay. Calm yourself down there, buddy. I can afford to actually do Break Ride next turn. We finally actually got an Iguanagorg. So what we're going to do, we're going to put Iguanagorg behind the Vanguard. So I can do this push here. And this push at the Vanguard. Heal goes off. We actually heal the Iguanagorg, which is really nice. Interesting to see if he actually locks us now or not, though. Yep, there it is. Imaginary Plane Dragon. He's going to try and keep us locked down with the Grade 1 Palladium. Oh, okay. He's not Legioning this turn, then. He hasn't got the drop, has he? Never. He can't. Interesting. How many has he got in drop now? 2. We're going to 3 damage, which I'm fine with. So, I'm actually going to play somewhat sensible a bit here. I'm going to do that. That forces more out of him at this point. Because if he wants to keep me locked, he then doesn't get his full effect of his Legion skill. If he does relock me, he's now put himself into this position where he actually doesn't get any Counterblast to work with. I can now Counterblast stall him. Obviously, I've got the crit pressure constantly now. I've got Tyrannoquake / Tyranno Legend, whichever one I want to ride. I think he's just realised where he's mucked up. Which I'm absolutely fine with. Yep, he's not even caring. He's just swinging straight in. He does heal, so he goes down to 2. We have got double PG, so we're not in too bad of a position as of yet. But I am starting to get slightly concerned. So what we're going to do, we're going to aim for our Legion this turn. So I need to get I need to get the heals back into deck so you can still keep up. So obviously retire that, we draw one. Oh, why'd it have to be the heal we drew? I've actually got a hard neg myself now to actually do stuff. It's a shame. I've got to do that. Over that. And over that. Then Legion heal, and draw back to deck. Not the ideal plan, but it's what we've got to go with. We are going to shoot him all the way to 5, though, which is good in my eyes. Right, we'll not do that. We will, however, sack you off. Gains a crit. I'll call you back somewhere safe, like over here, so I don't lose full control of my actual fields. First check's nothing. Second check's nothing. Let's shoot him all the way to 5. First check's PG. Second check's nothing. Third check's nothing. Let's see if he survived the turn. He's got his enough for drop now. It's just down to what he actually wants to do. Not rewriting, but he is going to go Legion. I'm guessing he's going to lock down the Dino Crowd and the Iguana Gorg. It might Omega lock them as well, because he's got the Counter Blast to play without. Did she use the Blaster? See, I'd have rode the Blaster Joker personally. He'd got the resources to pay for it, and it would have done more to me. There's the Photon. I've got no issues with. And another Photon. So he's relying on a trigger to actually kill me. Doesn't hit a trigger, we PG. And that, we PG again. We are still in this. So what we're actually going to do now, because obviously our Vanguard can't physically do anything anyway, is we're going to re-ride. So then the following turn we can break ride. I'm going to swing at this, because he still needs 2 cards to actually... He needs a card on that side to make that card's column scale to hit the Vanguard. And if he was to pull something else down... Okay, so we do need a double heal here, unfortunately. We have got 4 in deck, so chances are high. 1 in about 4.5-ish. Nope, we don't hit our heal, so that is the end of game 2. I shall see you guys in a minute. And those were the games. We are back. The first one went really well for us. A lot of early game pressure. We had the crit pressure, denying the PGs. And the moment we re-broke road it, we got to show off the actual break ride into the Legion. Unfortunately, he scooped before we could actually Legion, but... It is how it is. Second game, we were on the downsides from the get-go anyway, because the fact of it was one of the worst matchups possible in the forms of Link Joker. We still held our own, got to do a 3 crit Tyrannoquake swing, got to show that off a bit as well, so good times all around. If you like what you've seen, please do drop a like and subscribe. It very much does help the channel. Drop a comment below, let me know if you're actually interested for the Tachikaze, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!